CEO, wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder that could teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black-owned firm, but we ain't all black.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. It's your girl, Constance Carter. How is everybody doing today? I am representing myself, and I'm representing the Fly Nubian Queen, the channel for melanated people just like you. What's happening? It's 2022. I see a lot of people are coming in. And so before you guys, listen, as you guys come in, every time I go live, I always love to see where people are hailing from. So if you are on here, if you're live, let me know where you're from. We have people that tune in from all over the world. So let me know where you are tuning in from right now, because I want to know. So if you're tuning in from the country or if you're out of the country, I want to know where you're from. Number one. Okay. Number two, every time I come live, always think of it as an opportunity for you to network with other people. I want to make sure that not only am I getting business, but you getting business. So if you put in the comments box what it is that you do, where you're located, that way, if people can get in contact with you for the things that you do. So make sure that you go, you put in the comments box what it is that you do, what services you provide. If you're a business owner, if you want to get into business, put that in the comments box. Okay. So please, again, if you are live here today, I want to make sure that you're putting where you're hailing from, because I always love to recognize people wherever they are in the world. And I know we have people that come in from all over the world. It's a lot of you guys right now. I see Patricia from Maryland. I see somebody from Fort Worth. I see Richie from Los Angeles. I see TJ from North Carolina. It's a lot of y'all on here tuning in. So this is so great. I'm on Facebook and I'm actually on Instagram for the first time. This is my first time going live on Instagram as well. So I want to get right to it because I got a lot to cover today and I don't have a whole lot of time. What's up, Alicia from Chicago? What's up, Patricia from Stockton? Katrina from Dallas. And again, put in the comments box what it is that you do. That way you can network with people, because every time I go live, I want to make sure that there's an opportunity for you to get business. It ain't just about me. It's about building our community. All right. So make sure that you subscribe into the Fly Nubian Queen, our Facebook page and our Instagram page and our YouTube page. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe button. Make sure you're following us, and then set your alerts for when we come on, because we got a lot of great content on the Fly Nubian Queen. Also on Constance Carter, CC the CEO, on my YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe on that as well, and follow me on my IG page. All right. You guys are, man, y'all coming in hot. All right. I want to talk to you about 6 steps to start your business. I'm going to give you some basic steps. Okay. And this is really important. Now, business is business across the board. I just want to make sure that you understand that. I want to let you know that whether you are a real estate professional, which is what I am, I'm a real estate broker, or whether you are whether you're a chef and you have your own restaurant, whether you have any type of service, if you have a t-shirt company, there are things that you need to do in order to start your business, in order to kind of set the foundation. Now, I have a list in my broke2woke.live where I talk about how to legitimize your business. And so the list is more extensive than what we're going to talk about today, but I'm just going to give you six steps, 6 things to do today to start your business. All right. All right. So the first thing you need to do is have a business idea. Okay. What I don't want to see in 2022, I think it's great because I see these memes all over the place. Y'all get these LLCs and you have no business. You have no business getting an LLC if you have no business. All right. The reason why I say that is because, first of all, you paying for LLC. You got to pay taxes on that. You got to pay the franchise tax board or whatever state that you're in. You have to pay for that. So why are you getting an LLC when you have no business? You got to have a business before you get something. And I know people be like, hey, get an LLC, this year, get your LLC. And I have people even in my DMs that tell me that they have an LLC, but they have no business. You have no business having an LLC if you have no business. So have a business idea, something in mind, not only an idea, but something that you are going to execute on. That's muy importante, right? Because it's one thing to have an idea. There's a saying that says idea doesn't belong to he who thinks it, but he who executes it. So make sure you have an idea that you say you set deadlines and goals that in 2022, I'm going to execute on this business idea. And then after you have that business idea, you're going to, number one, you're going to get your entity. Okay. It's best to have an entity. Sole proprietorships are fine, but you leave yourself open to exposure. What do I mean? If you have a business and say you end up getting sued or something like that, and it could affect you personally. So your business, you do something wrong in your business, they could sue you personally, and then everything is up in flames. Your house is up for grabs, everything that you have personally. And the reason why you get an LLC to limit your liability, the reason why you get a corporation is to protect yourself. It is a separate entity. Now, each state has within, like, state of California has Secretary of State website. In my training from Broke to Woke, I give all of the information where you can get your LLC or you can get your entity set up. All 50 states, I give that information, right? So you got to go to your state. You don't necessarily have to pay a third party to get an LLC, to get a corporation, set up your corporation. It's relatively easy. It's not as hard as some may believe it is. I know a lot of times that even with EIN, my daughter is starting another business, right? And when she started her business before, if she would have just listened to her mama, she wouldn't have gone through this. But she paid a third party, I think, a couple $100 to do an EIN. And that's the next step, establish your EIN. She paid somebody some money to do an EIN for her. And so there's these phishing companies out here that will, it looks like it's the franchise tax board, or it looks like it's the IRS page. And they're basically asking you the same thing as the IRS page. So you're putting your information, they're asking you all the same stuff you will go. If you go to irs.gov and you do complete the form for your EIN, there is a site that looks exactly like that. And and when I was doing one of my entities, I was actually on this site and I'm going through it, and I had done them before. So I wasn't really paying attention. And then when it got to the checkout time to pay, I'm like, wait, I don't have to pay for an EIN number. So you have to be very careful that you don't have these companies out there, that you're not paying these companies to do what you can actually do yourself. You're putting the exact amount of time in getting your EIN. So make sure that you go directly to the irs.gov and you get your EIN. So again, go to broketowoke.live if you want to get the information on how to establish your LLC or your S Corp or any type of entity. Go there. In this training, I give you all 50 states the link to set up your legal entity. All right. Number 3 is get a bank account. All right. I preach this, and understand this. Your business is not legit until you have a bank account. The day that you get a business bank account is a day that you become too legit to quit. Okay. You are not a legitimate business until you have a business bank account. So you could have had an LLC for years. You could have had an S Corp for months. But if you have no bank account, you have no legal, it's not a legitimate business. So especially if it comes to getting a business credit, they want to see that you have a legitimate business, and you're not too legit to quit until you have a bank account. So make sure you establish your bank account. And make sure when you establish that bank account, you ain't commingling your funds. All right. That's very important. When I was first in business, I made mistakes like that. And so, when you're filing your taxes and what could happen is you can do what's called piercing the corporate veil. You do not want to pierce the corporate veil, because the whole reason that you have an entity anyway is to make sure that you are protecting yourself from liability. And if you're using the corporation or the LLC as your personal business, like for your personal, so you're going and buying personal stuff, you're buying groceries for your household and all those things in your business bank account, you could potentially pierce the corporate veil. So if somebody comes after you and they want to sue you and they get to looking at your bank statements, they're going to say, wait a minute, this is not a real legitimate business, because we see that she's been over at Susie's buying toys. Y'all don't know who Susie's is. Lord Jesus, help me right now in the name of Jesus. But on your business bank account, and you don't need to do that. Or if you ever get audited by the IRS and you're like, no, my business is separate. My business, and if you're not running your business like a business, then they will tax you as an individual, which could maybe higher tax consequences. So you make sure that when you get that bank account, you are not commingling your funds. and you are not piercing the corporate veil. All right. The next thing I want to say is, oh, you know what? One of the first things I do when I establish my business is when I have a business idea. This is just when I have a business idea. Okay. First thing I do is I go to GoDaddy.com. Come here, Glenda. I go to GoDaddy.com and I get my domain. Glenda is my assistant. Glenda, how many domains do I got on GoDaddy?
About 50.
No, it's 69.
69? Oh my God.
But Glenda has to call GoDaddy sometimes and she be hella embarrassed.
I do.
Because I have the most
blackest. What was the one that
don't say it.
Oh my God. I was so mad at her because I had to call GoDaddy and it was like, what was it? Like blackpower.com?
No,
it was like really
stupid.
black.
It was stupid.
And I was like, oh my God.
I think I let it go. But I'm embarrassed. I am embarrassed. But see, so when Glenda has to call GoDaddy and she has to get stuff fixed or whatever, they'll look through and see all the domains I have. They'll be like, I see you got blackhose.com. No, yeah, I got no black hole.
They be about that bad. I'm like, oh my God, Constance, why did you do this?
Because I had a dream in the middle of the night about blackhose.com, and I was like, this could make me millions. No, it's just jokes. But I do be having these crazy ideas. And the first thing I do is I go and buy my domain name. And GoDaddy, they're like $11, $12. So you can't resist buying a domain name. Like that's the first thing I do. I just try to make sure that my domain is not already taken. That's the first thing I do. Then, I get to, so I got 69 domain names right now. 4 of them are in use, right? 4 or 5 of them are in use. But I got about 69 of them. No, I have 69 of them, and it's just stupid. But, when you're a serial entrepreneur, you always have these bright ideas, and they be brilliant when I come up with them. And then the next day, I'll be like, that was dumb as hell. What the hell were you thinking? So anyway, make sure you get your domain because you want to make sure that nobody else has your domain. But even if somebody else does, there's other things you could do. You could do .live, .shop, .net, .whatever. So you don't have to be, even if somebody has your name, you don't have to not use that name. All right. So definitely do your domain. So I think I said 4 or 5 already. Your branding is important. Your marketing is important. You could have the best, and I'll say this 100 times. You can make the best pork chop sandwich in the world. But if nobody knows about your pork chop sandwich, guess what? Ain't nobody gonna buy your pork chop sandwich. And so you have to make sure that your marketing, your branding is on point. Make sure it's consistent. Make sure you're putting money into ads, social media. And then also make sure that social media is not the only place that you're advertising. Remember when Facebook went down? And Instagram went down a couple of months ago. And if you were only marketing on Facebook and Instagram, you were in a whole lot of trouble. People lost millions of dollars in that one day of social media going down. So make sure you got Google Ads. Make sure you have a website and do other things. Make sure you have, make sure you're multifaceted. Grant Cardone says you have to be omnipresent. Like have everything when it comes to marketing. Don't be, email marketing is still legitimate. Social media marketing, of course, Google Ads, and then print mail. Mail marketing is also still, in a lot of cases, is still legitimate. So do that as well. And make sure that you're pricing and you've come up with a pricing strategy, right? If you have if you have goods, make sure you're doing a comparative market analysis for your goods. Okay. So I went to a barbecue restaurant one time and I got me a plate of barbecue and it ended up being $25. Guess what? I never bought that barbecue again for a plate of ribs. You know why? Because it was overpriced. So you don't base your pricing off of what you got to pay on your mortgage. That's not how you price your stuff. You price it based upon what the market conditions. So you need to do a market analysis and see what other people are selling their goods and services similar to yours are. Okay, so don't just price stuff just because you're like, okay, I got this overhead, I got to pay for this building, all of those things. That's not how you price. So make sure you're properly pricing and your sales strategies in place. Write this down, okay? And when you're planning for your business in 2022, do a brain dump. And then you could create a business plan. I'm going to be honest with you. I've never had a business plan, but you could create a business plan. I do brain dumps. I just put all of my ideas on paper and then I organize it. And then I format it in the way that I'm going to execute it. And that's the way I do things. But you might do things differently. But understand, y'all. Understand the idea belongs to doesn't belong to he who thinks it. It belongs to he who executes it. So if you have an idea, it's important. It's muy importante that you execute on your idea. It's muy importante. Their dreams just die they say the graves are the most wealthiest place on earth because they're filled with so many ideas, so many $1 million ideas. And a lot of times we have these $1 million ideas. And the other thing is we wait on perfection to happen before we execute on them. And understand you don't got to be perfect. My stuff be so jacked up a lot of times. And the only way it gets better is if I do it. And then I look at it and then I'll be like, oh, that was pretty damn messed up. I could do better next time. And I've been hella embarrassed. When I first started going live, I used to chew gum all the time, Glenda, remember? Mm-hmm. And people be like, dang, that gum look good. And I was like, oh, shoot. But I ain't take it down because it was good information. But if I had waited for it to be perfect, you know what? Shoot, I bought this. Anyway, could have used that today. But if I would have waited for it to be perfect, then it would have never happened. And my stuff still is not perfect yet. But I know that I have things that people want to hear. You have a product or a service inside of you that other people need. And I don't care if there's 100 other people that are doing it. Guess what? They ain't you. They ain't you. So God has gifted you with something, and there is enough business out there for us all to have it. There's enough abundance out there for us all to take advantage of it. There's enough for us. Guess what? Only the ones who do are actually going to get it. So make 2022 your best year. COVID has taught you anything. It's told you that you cannot depend on one revenue stream. It should have told you that you need multiple. The Bible says that we should have 7. Then it said no, 8 revenue streams in case a disaster strikes. And we are still in crisis disaster. So you cannot depend on your job. Don't depend on the government. It's time that we step out on faith and start doing us, start being our own biggest investors. And once we do that, the world is going to be better because of it, because they need you. They need your voice. They need your service. They need your product. You just have to execute on it. And I go a lot further in all of this stuff from broke to woke, building your 7-figure empire. If you don't know anything about me, I didn't introduce myself. If you've never been on my page before, if you've never been on the Fly Nubian Queen before, I'm Constance Carter. I'm the broker and CEO of Catalyst Real Estate Professionals. I own the largest African-American owned real estate firm in California. And I have several businesses. I'm an investor in cannabis. I have several best-selling books. Pick up my books. I own a co-working space in Sacramento. What else I do? I be forgetting. I have to think of I do real estate.
You're an investor?
I'm an investor. Yep. And we originate loans here. So we originate loans in several different states. So what else we do, girl? I got t-shirts, Serial Entrepreneur. You understand? You underheard what I'm talking about. Entrepreneur. That was one of my websites too. I think I still own that, but I ain't never did that with it. Entrepreneur.com. Y'all heard me. I'm a true entrepreneur. But I listen, I'm not afraid to execute on nothing. And even if I look stupid, I don't have a problem in doing it. I just want to be able to be here and share the information with you guys. But make sure 2022 is a year that you execute. Go to broke2woke.live, broke2woke.live, and finish the rest of this, because I give you a gang of information, a gang of game that can really set your business off. But I gave you a lot of information today. You want to take it to the next level, you want to 10x that, go to broke2woke.live and make sure you share this out with your people, because they need to hear what I'm talking about. You heard me? All right, y'all. Thank you. God bless. Peace out.